mainly focus on abortion rights and her identity as a black woman, and she never really identified as a black woman until up to this point. Like, she always identified as an Indian. Even Trump said, like, he didn't even know she was black. You could never pay me to be a liberal ever again. So basically, if you told me 2-3 years ago I'm not gonna be a liberal anymore, I would have just said, like, you're absolutely crazy and you're losing your mind. So basically, so like 2-3 years ago, I was like your typical raging woke liberal. I was really deep into it, unfortunately. And then, like, I really, like, you know, I've supported Biden. I was too young to vote, but, like, I supported Biden. I was against Trump back in 2016. I was, like, in 6th grade, and I remember, like, being so disappointed that he won. It was a lot. It really was a lot. And fast forward to this election, I really was just, like, so 50-50. And when I say 50-50, like, it was Joe Biden and Trump. I was still believing the lies that the media told about Trump, but then, like, something in me was just like, I don't want Biden. Like, he was not a good president. I really don't want Biden. And because I was still believing in the lies they said about Trump, I was like, okay, but I don't know if I want Trump either. At that time, I was like, both of these candidates were not good at all. Like, I don't know. It wasn't. And then when they switched Joe Biden with Kamala Harris, I just didn't know what her policies were. And at that point, I was swayed more for Trump. Like, I'd watch her campaigns. I'd also watch Trump's campaigns. I was more swayed with Trump's like, policies and stuff. And as for Kamala, I really didn't know what her policies really were, besides just advertising reproductive rights, and that's a whole other topic. And it's just like I just feel like she just so mainly focused on abortion rights and her identity as a black woman, and she never really identified as a black woman until up to this point. Like, she always identified as an Indian. Even Trump said, like, he didn't even know she was black. Like, she never like advocated for that, but it's whatever. And it was just, and at that point, I was more leaning for Trump because he had more better policies. And I don't know what her policies really were on immigration, but based on Joe Biden, what she was advocating for loose borders. And because I live in a deeply blue state, and because there's like a lot of like liberal influence surrounding me at the time, I was scared to vote for Trump because I want to be on the quote unquote right side of history, voting for like the first black female president. Exactly. And I really did fall into the identity politics, and I ended up voting for her. I was literally in the polling line for voting, and I was like, man, should I really vote for Trump? I don't know. And I ended up voting for Kamala Harris. And then worst thing that happened to me was, like, when I got back home, I literally saw this TikTok where she was literally saying, like, you don't belong to this rally, when these people were saying Jesus was king. And that's when the regret really started to hit. That's when I started getting mad. I was like, I should have voted for Trump, stuff like that. And it was just like, no. Like, that's when I really started, like, questioning things. And I don't know, like, now since Trump is president, seeing like all the changes, seeing like the tariffs actually working out, and I was like, they really lied about this man. They really have lied about him. And when people say like Trump is for common sense, they really mean he is for common sense. That's just like, Democrats have literally lost it. It's sad. It really does break my heart seeing that the Democrat Party is just for the woke liberals at this point. It really is sad, because it used to be a party for the working class Americans, and you just don't see that anymore. You really don't, and that's really depressing, because I feel like really prioritize illegal migrants over the typical American people, and it's just sad. And you know, after the election, that's when I really started like thinking for myself. That's when I really started questioning the Democratic Party, and they're always standing for fighting against systematic racism, for standing up for justice. But like historically, looking at the Democrat cities like Baltimore, like St. Louis, and stuff like that, those cities are so absolutely horrible. Like they're horrible, and they're like they've historically run those cities, but they're always saying there's an injustice, but I don't really see them addressing the problem. And that's when I really started to feel like the Democratic Party is nothing but a propaganda machine. And I'm not saying like the right is any better. I just feel like the left is they just get away with things. They really do get away with things, and that's what really caused me to leave the party. And now I'm just like more moderate, leaning to the right.
For more great videos, download the Walkaway Social app at walkawaysocial.com. Share your testimonial and join our community.